Your board is going to ask you about AI. Maybe they already have. Maybe it's coming at the next quarterly meeting. When they do, you're going to have to face a choice. Do you have something to show them or just something to tell them? Now, that distinction matters more than most executives realize. Board attention to AI is accelerating fast. An ISS corporate analysis found an 84% jump in AI-related board disclosures between 2023 and 2024. That is a 150% increase from 2022 to 2024. Boards aren't asking about AI because it's trendy. They're asking because they're starting to understand it as a fiduciary issue. And here's what's happening on the ground. Black Book found that health systems with AI governance councils and a clear reporting dashboards achieve ROI nearly twice as fast as those without. 7.5 months versus 13.5 months. And visibility isn't just about risk, it's about performance. Most AI governance today is internal only. So your committees meet, policies exist, approvals happen, but the work stays pretty invisible to the board. Maybe there's an annual update, and maybe there's a mention when something goes wrong. That's called governance as documentation because it protects the organization from accusations of doing nothing. It doesn't protect the organization from anything else. Board visible governance is different because it creates a rhythm of reporting that keeps leadership informed before problems become crises. It translates technical decisions into language that board members can understand and that they can question. And it builds a record that demonstrates ongoing attention, not just initial approval. Think about what boards actually want. They don't want to understand an algorithm. They were not going to review your model validation methodology because that's not their job. What they want is to be confident that someone competent is paying attention and that risks are being identified, that decisions are being made deliberately, and that there is a process and that process is working. Board visible governance gives them that confidence because without it, they just have to guess. And when boards have to guess, they get nervous. And when boards get nervous, they either disengage or they micromanage. And neither one of them will help you. Executives who build board visible governance create a different dynamic because they position themselves as leaders who have this under control, who understand the risks, who can explain what the organization is doing and why. That's not just good governance, it's good leadership. So what does board visible governance actually look like? Well, it's a quarterly AI governance report with consistent metrics: tools approved, tools rejected, incidents flagged, performance concerns, remediation actions. It's a risk dashboard that shows where AI is being used and what oversight exists for each category. It's a clear escalation path so the board knows when they'll hear about material issues before they become the headlines. None of this requires the board to become technical experts. It requires you as a leader to become a translator, to turn operational reality into strategic visibility. Organizations doing this well aren't giving their boards more information. They're giving them better information presented in a way that builds confidence rather than inducing anxiety. So here's my question for you. If your board asked for an AI governance update tomorrow, what would you show them? Not what will you say, what would you actually show? If the answer is, I'd put together some slides, that tells you something. You're building the story after the fact instead of documenting it as it happens. Just start now. Create a simple AI governance dashboard, one page, update it monthly, and bring it to the board quarterly. Because that rhythm, that changes everything. But visibility alone isn't enough. There's one phrase that keeps showing up in governance discussions that sounds protective, but actually isn't: human in the loop. That's what we're going to unpack next.